Hello and good morning, and welcome to Talking Devils, the number one independent Manchester United podcast. I'm your host this week, Dave Murphy, and joining me, as always, is former Manchester United legend and former England international, Mr. Paul Parker. I'll start with Mr. I'll show you the respect you deserve. I know Barton just throws it out there with Paul. How you doing this week, Paul?
I'm not bad at all. Oops, you still there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I've just kind of come. Oh, there you are. Somehow I just touched something and lost it. There we go. I'm just trying to get myself set still.
No worries. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I will say that on Saturday I was at Chelsea v Fulham. And I saw one of them. It was absolutely disgraceful to take away a goal from a young lad. It was just absolutely embarrassing. The only thing I never done when I was working, I think, was just swear with frustration. I was mortified. And it just sums up the way the game's going. And these people who are running the game suddenly think they're trying to control it when you can't turn with the ball, pass the ball, and then your momentum's carried you and you tread on a player's foot, and then they bring the game all the way back to that and say there was a foul after the ball's gone because you trod on someone's foot after.
Yeah.
And the lad has gone and scored. Did you see the goal, Dave?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought it was
wonderful. 18 years of age, his fourth appearance, and he's going to be a good player, by the way. And he does that, and they go and take it off. But all of a sudden, Mike Dean straight away goes, VAR shouldn't have got involved. Why are they trying to take goals away? Why are they going back so far? They're not allowing. They're virtually taking away momentum of what you do. So the moment, if you kick a ball and someone steps in your line after you kick the ball, and as your foot's gone forward and you might be bringing it back to get it down quick so you only stand on one leg and you catch a player, they might send you off because the words they used for it was ridiculous. They used stupid words to try and make it bigger than what it really was because it's just a made-up rule.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was disgusting. And what it done to Fulham when they should have gone in because they were better than Chelsea. Chelsea are quite poor for everything they've spent and what they've got. And then they come out second half, they give a penalty when Sessegnon, he jumps and he puts his arm up and it hits him on the back of his. And the thing about it, that they're on about natural positions. When you jump, the first thing you do is you do that. And you do that always away from his body. Well, you try and jump. If you try and jump up and down without your arm inside, people think you might have to be taken down the road in a nice little home and get yourself a cozy little room and have a bit of treatment. Because if you jump, it'd be called. People think punk rocker started.
Yeah,
it was just.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's. I mean, we'll joke, but when is it going to be a point where they roll it back to the previous game and give a foul? You know, that's how far back they seem to be going these days. It's absolutely, absolutely terrible. I thought it was a terrible decision at the time, and even seen in the replay, it was terrible as well.
It was, yeah.
This silliness of coming out, the next day and saying they contacted Fulham to apologise. It's ridiculous. It's like
it doesn't make any difference at all. They could have do whatever they wanted. They could have even apologised 30 minutes after. Honestly, Marco Silva was. And what he'd done at half-time, in the end, he'd done really well because he'd got in serious trouble. He's waited and waited, then he's walked onto the pitch. The referee couldn't have enough security around him. Could not have enough. Honestly, only Keir Starmer could have more security than what he had. And honestly, and then all of a sudden he must have checked himself and gone, no, I can't. I need to be here for the second half. And he's turned with about 10 yards and just walked back in. The referee saw him because the referee, by the way, he has lovely slicked hair, all well gelled back and everything. And he's walking, when you look at him, you think to yourself, we're giving them too much now, these referees.
I think so. Well, aside from that, did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I did. It was good. It was good. I mean, I enjoyed going back to West London and seeing, a Chelsea Fulham game, vice versa. And after that, I just went down, jumped on the train. I went down to my schoolmates in Kent and had a night out in Kent. You might as well have a night out in a library in Kent.
Okay.
In rural Kent, you might as well.
Well, I've had a good weekend because I seen Manchester United win a game. That's a rarity these days.
Was you there then, Dave? Was you there?
Oh, I went over for the game. Yeah, I
Right.
saw it. It was good. So Manchester United 3, Burnley 2. OG Bruno Fernandes penalty to win it, and Bumo first goal for Manchester United in the league. All in all, we should be happy. It was a hard fought game. It was odd at times. Some of the regular problems come back to haunt us. But a win is a win. Amarin can't seem to buy a win these days. He got one the weekend, and we go into the international break on the back of a win. Paul, what were your thoughts on the game on Saturday? Like I said, win's a win at this point, even though we're only 3 games in.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of good points in certain bits, but the usual ones come back and are still haunting at this moment in time. And beating Burnley at home is nothing to jump up and down about, to be perfectly honest. But in the circumstance at the moment, as you said, is about a win. And the manager's got the opportunity to get 2 and a bounce, which I don't think he's done. And in the Manchester derby, he's got an opportunity to do that. He knows that he will get a performance because the team is geared up to play a side like Man City. 1, because it's a derby game, and 2, because City are not a dynamic team without the ball. They haven't got many runners without the ball. They're all runners with the ball and play stuff in front. So United's lack of pace won't be found out as much as it does against, dare I say, lesser teams, lesser named teams at this moment in time. So yes, they done enough to win it. They've done enough to win it, but the poor bits still showed up, and you can go over and over them again. But that at the end of it, the only way it's going to be sorted is that if there was two transfers made today, everyone knows what they'll be looking for, the positions are needed. Then everyone would have a big sigh of relief and think, now there's something really to build on. At the moment, if they carry on as where they are, then there's nothing really to build on, because the actual foundation of it is dodgy. Really, really on two counts, it's dodgy at this moment in time. Regardless of how well they play, the foundations are still so dodgy.
One of those foundations, like we spoke about earlier on, is a win's a win, but the usual errors and mistakes come back to haunt us. I want to talk about 2 of those situations. The first one is our goalkeeper situation. Bayern there in goal again. Not really a massive upgrade on Onana. It's we know what we're going to get with either of them in goal, but a mistake by our goalkeeper once again led to a goal. Manchester United reportedly in the transfer market for Martinez of Aston Villa. Probably not everybody's first choice of a goalkeeper. Me personally, I would have went after Donnarumma when he was made available. But Martinez to me is a capable goalkeeper. Definitely an improvement on what we have right now. But long term, not the solution. What do you think about that whole situation with the goalkeeper? Martinez, is it a thumbs up because he is a good keeper, or is it a thumbs up because it's better than what we currently have? And like you said, it's all built on a foundation. We've spoken about this many times in the podcast, and you've given us an insight into how a professional football team in the defence will start to be a little bit shaky at the back if the goalkeeper is not up to scratch, regardless of how good your defenders are. If your goalkeeper's not up to scratch, it affects the whole back line. So Martinez, a good solution for the current problem.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And you talk about goalkeepers and popularity. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they are personally. If they do their job, people will suffer anything. It's as simple as that. Yeah. It's about a presence. You need a goalkeeper. And it's still what sounds old-fashioned, but it's still a fact. It's a presence. He will come and he will shout. His physicality, his body shape suggests that a few people will be a little bit, when they hear keepers, obviously in a little bit more of a Spanish dialect, you're gonna want crash helmet and body armor, because he's a size, he's a presence. At the moment, we haven't got a goalkeeper with a presence because they've been proven already not good enough. We look at Liverpool yesterday. You look at the goal. You look at them. Alisson in goal. He affected Arsenal in the sense of they knew he couldn't be bullied. Couldn't be bullied that way. We saw by India. We saw him against Fulham. Totally bullied. He looked like he was so scared. And Fulham have never really been a great dead ball team. Fulham suddenly thought, oh Christ, we've been like Arsenal now. Yeah, we can do this. And the goalkeeper, and it will stop that. It will make them think what they're going to do next. That ball you knock in is only as good as the person who gets on the end of it. And all of a sudden they have to affect the way they knock corners in, where they're going to cross from, because they know that he will come out and he will try and get it. But the thing about him as well, if he stays on his line, he's very effective on his line as well. His kicking is good, but he doesn't suddenly want to tell everyone that he's a great footballer. He just wants to get the ball out to someone. And yes, he will go out and be arrogant and do something silly that might cost, but nowhere near the amount of time that Onana has. So if you get a goalkeeper, that takes off a lot of pressure. If it was a goalkeeper, no midfield, it'd still be better. I think a goalkeeper at this moment in time for me is so important over the bigger picture at this moment in time. It is so badly needed that, like you say, you could put any back four in the league at this moment and you put those two goalkeepers behind them, they would struggle. Yeah. They would really, really struggle at this moment in time. Even Van Dijk's moaning and whinging would not make any difference at all, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, it's needed. It's needed, even short term.
I'm sorry. I think one of the things that I have seen on social media is Martinez definitely splits people's opinion. I know you hinted to it there, where you don't have to like the guy. If he's doing a good job, he's doing a good job. We have a couple of comments in here from one of our regular listeners. Box says Martinez has been declining these past few seasons, in my opinion. At 33 on a long contract and a high wage, big no from me. Just to answer that one, I don't think we're going to bring him in on a very long-term contract. I think the most we'll bring him in is 2 or 3 years. High wage, I'll be surprised if he gets any more than 150 grand. I know that sounds mental, but in the current climate of what clubs are paying players, anywhere from 100 and 150 grand is probably what we're going to pay. And then he also says, people bring up Van der Sar in comparison to his age, I believe. That's like comparing steak to a burger. It could be a steak burger, though. So for me, Martinez is not a very likable guy. He really isn't. But I think he's a decent goalkeeper. There's not many out there that are available, but we just cannot continue with the two goalkeepers that we have. So what other choice do we have? Lamens from Royal Antwerp. Honestly, I have no clue about him. But he, at 22 years of age, coming into that environment, Paul, as a 22-year-old goalkeeper coming into that environment, when we're back into the whole Highland cycle again. If we were to make or take a chance on Lamens at 22 years of age, I think we would destroy the guy. I really do. We need someone with experience, and we need someone experienced in the Premier League. So if it is a shootout between Lamens, 22-year-old kid, where the whole focus is on that position, we all know it's one of the key positions in the team anyway. But at Manchester United, goalkeeper, striker, the two positions that are highly regarded as being the most important at Manchester United. I mean, would you have taken a chance on Lamens? I mean, like I said, I don't know that much about him, but his age and coming from the league that he's in, coming to Manchester United in its current climate, with that being such a hot topic of a position, I think Martinez for me is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him like yourself, Dave, but you'd have to be some kind of character at 22 to come into it and really get through it and really go and show great mental strength and the surety, and straight away have a presence. It's so important that he does the first thing right at that age, because people will be looking, scrutinising straight away. It won't be so much scrutinised. if Martinez was to come to Manchester United. And the gentleman before, I think that Boz saying about him at 33. 33 is relatively young for a goalkeeper in certain ways. You look at it because they've got a little bit more longevity. But his experience, and you need someone, and it is about a presence. And you've got to go and grab it at this moment in time to go and get it. I don't understand how he's available in certain ways, the way it's working out. I mean, the Villa story just makes I think a lot of people want to cry what's happening at this moment in time. Excuse me, especially after last night as well.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to go and get it. They need something. They need something that's going to make everyone believe, and having someone behind you like that. And I played for the two best goalkeepers I played with during my time was Dave Seaman and Big Pete. And Dave Seaman behind me when I was at QPR was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. You know, in my time there for the club itself, it had a good time because of the likes of Dave Seaman in behind, the assurances you got when something, you know, that there was good chance he was going to be shouting because he was, and that big Yorkshire accent he's got as well. You knew exactly what's going on. He had a presence. And he was, you know, we've seen what Dave Seaman was out throughout his career. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think he will add that. He will add that little bit. You feel better with someone like that who talks a lot all the time, who's willing to take responsibility, but be 9 times out of 10 assured on what he's doing next. Will tell people, because you don't really see Onana. He's not like a Big Pete, the way Big Pete was getting it, always picking on Brucey all the time. Never on Pally, because Pally would tell him to do one. Brucey did after, but it was always Brucey. Maybe because they were neighbours at the time, so there was that kind of relationship. But I really you know, the young goalkeeper, it is a little bit in the moment. Can they afford to do that in that position? I'm saying no. I don't think they can really go and do that. And if there's a really good chance to really try and get things a little bit more on side, I think they have to go down that road. Have to really, really go down that road.
Got a couple of more comments about Martinez from Wayne, our normal host that keeps us in check, Paul. Lama's not ready to be number one. Martinez, an upgrade, but definitely more Barthez than Van der Sar. I don't know why. I like Barthez. I thought he was a mad bastard. Having said that, Barthez from Onana, Bayandar would be a huge upgrade. And I think most people do agree with that. Is that, you know, in our current situation, he is a massive upgrade. Lamens is way too risky. Martinez divides opinion, but he has confidence, as you were saying earlier on, Paul. That's what you need. Someone behind you is just going to keep shouting and screaming at you. He's a World Cup winner. He's not going to be phased by the atmosphere, phased by playing for Manchester United. I don't believe he is what you would call a shithouser. Yep, fans hate him, and we do. We, you know, as United fans, we. You know, there was that incident a few years ago where Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty, and Martinez was telling Ronaldo to take the penalty against him, and he didn't, and Fernandes missed it, and he had that little dance. They hate him, but you want that on your team. I think his personality is exactly what we need right now at the back, because you know, some of those defenders look terrified. They really do. You know, and it's not fair on the likes of the young ones like Yoro and Heaven when he plays. You can see that they're nervous, that they're more nervous than they should be, and that's because of our goalkeeper. Me personally, I think it's a good choice in the current climate to bring in Martinez. So fingers crossed. We do get him in. As Ben said, 3 years for Martinez will be great for us, and I don't think we're going to give him anything longer than that. And then maybe we can bring in a young keeper as well next summer when we move these other two on, which I believe is probably the plan.
And the thing as well, Dave, I think about the teams I played in and after, and that were after me, is that the great Manchester United teams, they used to go and everyone hated players. People hated Big Pete, hated him. People hated Roy. People hated Eric. And the reason why is because they're a bit of a talent. He's got that way about him. Now, I haven't heard anything at all in the grapevine about issues with him within the club. It's always about the way he behaves and what he does on the pitch. How many Argentinians have everyone said, "Oh, what a fantastic person, what a lovely man"? There's a nature about him. I mean, there's an arrogance when you keep winning World Cups and whatever. Even I see Ozzy Ardiles a bit when I go to Spurs. And I normally go up, and he runs a lounge, and I normally always go there after to his lounge, and I see some of the old Spurs players, and I always go there because I can have an hour after the game to miss all the traffic getting out of White Hart Lane. Ozzy will come in, and he'll be there, and he's got this manner. And I played with Ozzy at QPR, and he's got this manner about him. And someone will say something to him, could be anything. He'll go, yeah, but have you won a World Cup, in his broken English? And everyone just laughs because his manner is just, it's a way of, it is an arrogance. And there is an arrogance. You don't become a great player being a little bit low confidence or anything. You come out because you believe in your ability. You're saying, yeah, I'm better than you. And I played with the biggest two of all was Keno and Ince. Two incredible people who had so much self-belief in their own ability. Then they would tell you at that given time when they've come and covered your ass, to be perfectly honest, they'll tell you. And you can't beat it. So if he was to be the goalkeeper of Manchester United, and he's walking up and he's doing things out and he's giving that to somebody and it's affecting them and they go and miss and they don't score goals or whatever, the fans would take to him. Big Pete was hated everywhere he went, Big Pete. But you speak to United fans in a way, because I know this, Peter Schmeichel for that time was loved by Manchester United fans. Gosh. Best goalkeeper in the world, still talked about as one of our best, but in certain bits Pete hasn't helped himself. But still, he had that bit about him. Peter was so arrogant. But another one, he was such a strong character, and he believed that he was the best. He was the best at that time, and you got up now, and Peter would just come out and say, "I was the best in the Premier League," and you walk away and you shake your head like that. But you need it. But you need it, Dave.
Definitely. You want to be at that level.
Yeah. If you can't believe in yourself, what chance have you got of helping your teammates out when you go and play? If you're kind of thinking, I'm maybe not good enough. You've got to be that way. You're the one person. The rest of us who play football, we've got another 9-rounders out there who can help us out. He's on his own. Self-confidence is so important.
And I think that's the one big factor that Martinez will bring is a massive ego. He must have strong shoulders to carry that giant head. But at the end of the day, this is what we need right now, because you pointed out earlier on that Fulham changed their game plan somewhat to just keep knocking balls into that box because they know our keeper's a problem. So that's hopefully that's one solution we get today. One problem fixed. Another problem, which completely is no surprise to me, was the form of Dalot. I watched him. Like I said, I was at the game on Saturday, and surprising or maybe not surprising is that he's playing out on the left. But the surprising, and again not so surprising maybe, is that for large parts of the game, nobody was marking him. And that to me was a little bit damning. He had so much space out there, so much time, but yet, Burnley didn't see him as a threat at all. And he had acres of space. Now, I'll give him credit. He made the assist for the Mbeumo goal. But that said, it doesn't hide the fact that he's a really, really poor defender for me. Paul, as we know, England international, Manchester United defender. Dalot, to me, seems to be going backwards. He really is. And like I said, the damning assessment for me was, and I'd said this to Wayne at the game, was that, nobody marks him because nobody thinks he's going to do anything. And you don't even see that in schoolboy football these days.
No, the Fulham game, I was absolutely seething with the Fulham game. What he done to cost the goal was disgusting. What he done, absolutely disgusting. And you listen to everyone who talks about it, and they talk straight away. Everyone wants to talk about pressing all the time, and they talk about Iwobi. Iwobi couldn't believe his luck when he turned into him with the ball instead of taking it inside. He couldn't believe it, and he cost him the goal. Again, I've changed it slightly, this conversation, but why take off Ahmad? Because he was suppressing Sessegnon. They were both cancelling each other. That's why Sessegnon played in that position, because of Ahmad, to stop him, because of pace and whatever. And those two are having their personal battle. The manager makes the changes. Sessegnon then doubles up with Iwobi. They were causing problems, and you put on someone who can't defend. He's not a wing back.
No.
He is an out and out right back in a back four. That's what he is. He is not the modern day fullback. He's definitely not a wing back. He's not a winger. To be honest, I mean, if he was a postman, he would be sacked for non-delivery. It's just not a lot there. There's not enough there. And you look at him and you look at Wan-Bissaka and you say to yourself, well, Wan-Bissaka, you would get more from him. Even though at the moment it seems like he's out of favour at West Ham. He was left on the bench yesterday. Walker Peters played yesterday. Great energy, great pace, gets in the final third. Clever. Very good with the ball. Can dribble. Very good. So we need to make his mind up. If he's going to keep playing this system, who's going to play there? Has he really been allowed to get what he wants? We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We see like he seems very unhappy, the manager. You feel like he's been let down when he talks about maybe resigning. I personally wouldn't blame him, to be perfectly honest, given how I think he's been treated by the people above. But Dalot, he's just not good enough. He's just really, really not in that system. If you're playing that system, you need good legs because you're leaving kind of spaces. So you need people who can cover spaces. There isn't enough who can cover spaces. The one who looks assured, the one defender who I'll count on game in, game out is De Ligt. Does his job. Just does his job. Not interested in doing anything else.
Yep.
He's at the moment in time, he's playing the game a modern day white Des Walker.
Yep.
Bang. Away. Does his job. Not trying and flicking it left and right and should I pass it there? No. Control, pass, move. Absolutely perfect. And that's the way you play. You play in the back line. You're told to do that. You don't deliberate. You move it quickly. Get it to the players who can win your games of football. And there's not enough of them at this moment in time. So I've taken a long way round. Yeah, Dalot, no, and he got. But again, though, after he got him again, the celebration thing after and getting into people's faces and that. I don't like that because you're not good enough to do that. Yeah. As you say in football, you can always end up egg in your face because there's another game. Because what's good last Saturday isn't going to be good the following weekend or the weekend after. Or you're only as good as your next game, you can say, because your next game you're starting again at the moment if you're Manchester United. It's a Manchester derby, and people don't forget things like that, and everyone's waiting to pounce on you. So if you want to get involved in that, be careful.
Well, like you said, he's not at a level of footballer where he can carry that arrogance. We spoke briefly earlier on about we mentioned that Brian Mbeumo got his first goal. Cunha, I want to talk about Cunha and Mbeumo, especially over the past couple of games, but on Saturday in particular. Cunha came off with an injury. We just don't know how serious that is right now. But before he came off, he was just floating around that pitch, an absolutely fantastic footballer. And Mbeumo, I think, I tweeted there during the week that after the game that I think we stole him from Brentford. The money we paid for him was, and even though we haggled about it, we still stole him from. They've hit the ground running, which we expected because they've so much Premier League experience, and that's crucial in all this. I'll start with Cunha, and then we move on to Mbeumo because he got his first goal. How do you feel those two players are now settling in? 3 league games in.
I think you have to say very well. You look at players who have come in, you judge them after 3 games, and you'll go, give them time, but not those two. Those two have really done it, to be perfect in certain ways. Still lots more to go because you hope that if and when the team improves, they're going to improve with it, which is a general way of things working anyway. Cunha has been, you look at him after, you look at him in the games, and normally he's almost on his knees. He's tired,
Yeah.
You do worry about him sometimes because you can just see the way he gets emotionally involved. You think yourself, descent bookings and to go out and do something maybe reckless because of his frustration, but you can't take that away from a player because I think that makes him up. That makes him. That little bit he's got inside, certain bits, I can see that in a positive way with him. And he, but the thing with Cunha, you don't sign Cunha. He's not going to be, at this moment in time, be your 20-goal a season striker. It's not his way. He makes goals. He makes goals happen by putting people under pressure, getting on the end of things and maybe getting the ball across. You know, he will create opportunities, but they only go down on record really if he actually goes in the goal and he can have an assist, which is a load of crap anyway, all that rubbish. But in Bueno, I watched him play for Brentford in the Championship, and I remember watching him in the Championship, and I've seen him in the QPR Brentford games, which are big games. Because I played against Brentford when I was at QPR. We played them pre-season. There was a third division team that had the likes of Ron Harris played for them, Stan Bowles played for them. They just signed old men. Alan Hudson played for them. It was like West London retirement home. It was. So anybody played for QPR, Fulham, or Chelsea, you got at Brentford at the end of your career. But obviously, with their rise, and he was involved in it from there, and he stood out so much in that Championship.
Yeah.
And to stand out in the Championship, you've got to have a heart as big as a dustbin lid because it is so physical in there. The work rate, everything, and they play ridiculous amounts of football, but there's never any mention of player welfare down there.
Yeah.
They just play and play, never stop, week in, week out, weekend, boom, boom, boom. And every game you watch him play, and then you see what he does when he plays in the league and what he's done since he's come into the top division, going past people, scoring incredible goals, great striker of the ball, great penalty taker. Obviously, we say he's good in the Premier League, penalty taker, but then you kind of think to yourself, that you want him to go further on, and I just think he's absolutely a fantastic footballer, and he can only get better than where he is now. But he needs help. He needs that midfield.
Yeah.
He needs someone to play off. And when he was at Brentford, he was in a really good midfield at Brentford. Norgard and Jensen. They had really good midfield. He played with Christian Eriksen as well. And that he had a season with him. And it was just the movement from those Brentford players. Damsgaard, they ran beyond and he created space. He hasn't got that at this moment in time. The onus is on him and Cunha to make something happen. So it's a big, big change. He's having to do too much work on his own.
One of the things that surprised me at the game on Saturday was Šeško not starting again. I'm a little bit baffled by that. I thought if you want to get your and I don't mean this in any disrespect to Burnley, but if you want to get your top striker off to winning ways, you play him in games like that at home. You have a better chance of getting off the mark. I think it was we were into the 70th minute before we brought him on. He didn't play too bad in those last 20 minutes. He had a couple of chances. I like what I see with him. I would have liked to see Cunha still on the park with him, though. What do you make of that whole situation where we're 3 games in and he's yet to start a league game?
I know. I do find it quite baffling, really. I know the first game against Arsenal, I kind of went, okay, and Mason Mount done really well. Yeah. He was everywhere. Everything that was needed. You needed the legs and whatever, Mason Mount. And he done well. And I thought, yep, next game, Fulham. No. Then I see Grimsby away. I think to myself, no. And he does. That wasn't the game. If the manager's doing that thinking it'd be easy and that's the game, no, that's not the game. That wasn't the game to do it. In that atmosphere, in that climate, that was not the game to put him in for his first start. Not in a million years was that right. But I don't know. I mean, did the manager sign him? That's the thing. That's the easiest thing to say now in today's football. When know we got these people who wear all ties and turn up, and they're the ones doing the buying on behalf of an owner. Maybe buying for the sake of the owner's ego, who he likes off of his son's FIFA or something, or grandson's FIFA. That's how it seems to work now. It's that way.
Yeah.
West Ham are playing that way. That's how they're doing it. It seems that way anyway. So, I really don't understand it. And again, I saw this with, what was his name again? The Dutch lad, Van der Beek. Got him during a terrible period for the country, for the world, when everyone was told to stop your life, You know, us people are going to control it for you. So he got caught up in that. So he was isolated, no family near him, and he wasn't playing. Ollie wasn't playing him, and he never got going. I don't even know where he is now. And he went on loan.
He's in Spain.
Yeah, it didn't work. Didn't work. And I think when you bring someone from overseas, you integrate them quickly. You bring them across, get them into it straight away. Let them feel part of it by play. You know, he's sitting around. He hasn't really integrated. People say, "Oh, but he's meeting them in the dress. He's training with them." The best integration you can have as a footballer is to play in a game.
Exactly.
To play in the game. To sit on the side, win, lose or draw, you're walking away because you haven't had that involvement. You haven't interacted. It might be a rollicking, falling out of a teammate over a situation, but still you're involved and you can talk about it. And then, but not for that. It's just not right. Now there's an international break. He's going to go back to Slovenia, who he plays for. He's going to get involved there. And then his teammates there, his countrymen are going to say, hold a minute, what's going on there? Losing to Grimsby. And it's in their heads, they're going to have a little bit of Mickey taking. Then he's got to come back. He's going to be asked, he's going to get interviewed like he's never been interviewed before while he's away on international duty. Because now Slovenia and Manchester United, is it Slovenia or Slovakia? One of them, I can't think. I think it's Slovenia, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's Slovenia. Yeah, the Turkey, the old Yugoslavian side. Slovakia is Czechoslovakia. Because that's what happens. They completely changes your interviewing because he's not Leipzig anymore. He's Manchester United. So they'll be looking. So there's going to be little stories that will pop up where they've mixed words up and everything because they want that big one. They've got a countryman playing for Manchester United, and it's got incredible. So hoping that nothing comes back negative from that. But when he comes back from there and he'll go away and he mostly nick a goal. He's got 2 games. He'll mostly nick a goal somewhere. So he's on a high. Play him. Manchester Derby, you got to play him. Give him a go at home. The fans will get behind him because they want a centre forward again who's going to make and score goals. That's what they want. They don't want him to become another Hoyland for the wrong reason. Though I think Hoyland, in a way, I'm really pleased that he's got what he's got, and I hope he goes and does well. Really hope he goes because he's gone about it the manner in which he's done it has been fantastic. The way he's gone and got on with it. He wants to play and score. I don't want this lad to go down the same way because everyone will say, oh, United is a place you go there. They're going to call all the worst names in the world for people who they believe don't succeed. So I want this boy to do well. Give him the opportunity to go and do it. Don't leave him on the bench. The longer he stays on the bench, the harder and harder mentally it could become for him. The media will be going inching, and when he comes in, they want that straight away. They want that. There's no, well, he's been on the side for a while. There's no rustiness allowed at Manchester United. You have to attack it straight away.
I am a little bit surprised that I was very surprised he didn't start on Saturday, but I'm a little surprised he hasn't had some more time. It's transfer deadline day. All the rumors flying around. The usual accounts are reporting, on certain movements. It looks like Ornstein is reporting. He was one of the more reliable ones. That Sancho looks like it's a done deal to Aston Villa. You know what? If they can get a game out of him, fair play to them.
I just think, sorry, just quickly, Dave. I think Emery, there's someone doing his buying for him. He's not doing it. He's not. There's somebody there. It's just no. It's not him. He's not his kind of player. Not in a million years.
But then again, he brought in Marcus Rashford, who we were having problems with as well.
Yeah, no. But again, I'm saying that. Did he bring him in?
Oh, okay.
I don't think he did because he brought in Rashford and straight away you're dropping Watkins for 2 games against PSG. I'm scratching my head going, hold on a minute, why have you done that for? I don't think he's doing his buying. And you watch him on the touchline. I was at I saw Villa play. Who did they play? I just watched them. I watched them play Brentford weekend before last. Brentford, Aston Villa. I'm watching him, and normally you think he is leading. He's leading an orchestra with his arms. He is just epileptic. He's like that. Honestly, the man virtually never took his hands out of his pocket. So Villa ain't right. There was something wrong at Villa. everything. So let Sancho go there, and there's a good chance that it would erupt when he arrives.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the back of Sancho. I think most Manchester United supporters are in general. His attitude stinks the place up. One of the other rumors flying around today is Conor Gallagher. It's been a rumor for the past weekend. Atletico Madrid back into England to Manchester United. Again, only rumors. Conor Gallagher, a decent player. He was very good at Chelsea. I was very surprised when Chelsea sold him, but I understood why they had to sell him at that time. Would he be a player that would be of interest, Paul?
I like him because, again, he's another high energy player. He's a disciplined player as well. He hasn't had enough recognition for his ability. They want to rave about Bellingham all the time. I would have him before Bellingham because I know what you're going to get. I know you got someone with the right attitude. I know. I met his dad when I was out at the Euros. And his dad's a lovely man. He come up to me. I was in a restaurant with friends, and he come up and he started chatting to me. And I invited him. I said, "Come and sit with us." And he's over there. His family over there. No, I'm with my family. No, come and sit down. So he ends up sitting. And I was with him for about an hour and a half. And he's a lovely man, his dad. And he talked about his son, and he's proud, and everything with Chelsea. I think the dad's a Surrey man. He's a Chelsea man, but he's got a good dad who's let his boy virtually do what he thinks is right, and he's got footballers as brothers. I think he's got 3 brothers, and all of them played football at decent levels. It's a football family. I like him, and as a footballer, I like him. He went to Crystal Palace on loan from Chelsea. Crystal Palace fans absolutely loved him.
Yeah, he did very well.
So if he comes in there. You look at it, you get your high energy player straight away. You get a player who can run with the ball as well. Very strong runner, and you get a disciplined player as well, very disciplined, and a player that I know that would love the opportunity to play for Manchester United. I thought he was doing quite well at Atletico. I really thought he was doing.
I'm not sure how well he was doing now, but I do know that I do recall when Chelsea sold him, I was pretty shocked, because he was probably one of their better players at that time. But again, I think he was around PSR around that stage, even though Chelsea have blown that out of the water at this point. But I do believe I understood why they sold him at the time in regard to the players they had brought in. But I just thought it was also odd because he was one of their better players. I myself personally will be a fan of Conor Gallagher to bring in. But again, rumours on transfer day. Let's jump ahead real quickly to our next game, which obviously isn't for a couple of weeks now with the international break. Manchester City versus Manchester United in the derby. City not off to the greatest of starts in the league, trailing Manchester United in the league. Paul, it's a Manchester derby. They'll be coming off the back of a what they would see as a bad defeat against Brighton. 1-0 up and then losing 2-1. I've watched City a few times this season. There's something just not right there. There really isn't. There's something that's just not clicking for them. But the Manchester derby is probably the best way to get your mojo back. We're coming off the back of a win. That's how I'll put it. How do you see the Manchester derby going? Considering both teams aren't really setting the world alight in the league, and again, this will only be the 4th game in.
Yeah, I mean, you look at City, and I've seen them a few times. You've seen so many good bits. I'm looking at them defensively, and they're quite weak. They haven't got a presence. I mean, what's his name at fullback, the right back? Little Rico. Is it Rico? The right back. Is it Rico and Nico? I can't think what. But they haven't got a presence. They've lost Carl Walker. Obviously, his time was up. Carl Walker. I think everyone could see that he's done his time.
Well, I'll be honest. He got a very nice welcoming at Old Trafford throughout the 90 minutes on Saturday. So there was a lot of love shown to Kyle Walker. So anyway, sorry.
I'm sure there was sarcasm in there somewhere, wasn't there? I'm sure. I'm not. I don't know. I'm getting the vibe. I'm feeling the vibe from you, Dave. But they're not assured in fullback areas. They're not sure centrally. Everyone, John Stones is back, but they're still not right. They haven't got that presence in the middle of their defence that makes you feel they've got that bit of skills. Edison was is going now, isn't he? Edison is.
He's gone, and they've signed Donnarumma.
Yeah, he's going to Fenerbahce. So there was that little bit there. They've been playing the other lad, Trafford. I'm not sure about Trafford. I'm not really sure. That seems a bit strange for him to come back to play regularly. I mean, all of a sudden they're saying all this because Burnley did clean sheets. I'm sorry. Yeah. Keep using your stats and whatever. He was in a team that bored everyone to death in that league, Burnley. So, no, I'm not having that about his clean sheets. And we've seen it already. Already with City, he's letting goals in. At this moment in time, his ratio of goals is a lot more than what it was last season.
And the poor goals as well.
The
poor goals he's given away.
Yeah. So that was never going to work. He's another one. He doesn't look like he's got a real presence. Like goalkeepers now, you can just be slight, but you're good with your feet. You know, you're not having presence and you don't really make the saves. So, you know that United will be up for it because it's one of those games. It's just about how City are going to play. If City really add energy to the game and use legs, it's going to cause a problem. But you're looking again for players to step up. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Need players to step up, not get emotional about it. But it's a must-win game for both teams at this moment in time. The manager needs it. The manager needs it.
Will that make them more cagey, Paul? Because neither side will want to lose.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Given this moment in time, not with the way Pep is and that, I don't think so. I still think this with the team he'll pick, and he hasn't got many defensive-minded players. I mean, as well, we know now 100% that Rodri has lost his record now of unbeaten games. That's gone now, 100%. So he's going to take him a while to get back to get back where he was because of his injury. Not many, to get over that knee injury, to get back that presence, to get them ticking again. So this is the game that, it's still I believe there's still a good chance that the manager could get his 2 on the bounce.
Yeah.
That's where they are at this moment in time. Everyone knows it's going to be a good game. It's going to game everyone's going to be talking about. The Liverpool-Arsenal game wasn't really talked about as maybe what they wanted. This game would get talked about more than that game. Without a shadow of a doubt, there'd be more interest in that game than what there will this game. The game yesterday was more about Liverpool, but no one really wants to talk about Arsenal or watch Arsenal because they're a very, very expensive set-piece team.
They are, and that game, United and City, I think will be pretty much like the Liverpool-Arsenal game for me. I think just neither side wants to lose, and it's going to take a moment of brilliance to win the game. But you are right, not that I want to talk too much about Arsenal, but for me, they're a very, very good side, but a very poor manager, a manager that doesn't know how to win. And long may that continue. Long may he stay in charge. But Paul, if you're going to predict it, you think Amarin can go there and get his second league win in a row and first time ever? Is this the right time to get City?
Yes, definitely. Everything suggests that. Yeah, it does. It does suggest that the way they are, the way they've been at this moment in time. I think it's a great opportunity for him to go and get that win. I hope it doesn't go too far and all of a sudden people, if he does get the win, you just don't need all the talk after because United are still going to have their issues. Going on. That ain't going to disappear. That isn't going to disappear. Might do if they go and get a midfield player in the window. That will improve it. A goalkeeper and a midfield player would make a massive difference. A big difference for everyone around and everyone who can see it support, just fans as well. They go, if it was a Conor Gallagher, you'll get someone who would want to play every single game and can do.
Yeah.
Actually, if you start telling people that they can and they're going to, they will do it. But if you keep telling them they're tired, they're going to start going, I'm tired. That's how life is.
Yep. Before we go, a little bit of sad news, but it looks like Erik ten Hag has been sacked by Leverkusen. 3 games into the season. I feel a little bit for him. They sold his team underneath him. They literally sold everybody. He certainly wanted certain players to stay. But Ten Hag has been sacked, which is I'll be honest with you, it's a bit mind-blowing this early into the season that they sacked him, considering he wasn't there last year. And then it's also been noted that it looks like the Sancho deal is going to happen. And Manchester United have now, according to reports, triggered the 1-year extension for Sancho, which means he obviously can't leave for free next summer. I don't know whether that's a bit, shithousery by United to say, hey, you know what? You think you're leaving next summer? We want some money back for you. But to reflect on it, Erik ten Hag wasn't a terrible manager. Came to Manchester United with a great record. Spent a lot of money, just didn't work out. Looks like Leverkusen have sacked him, Paul. I know this isn't really Manchester United related, but I don't know, 2 or 3 games into the German league and they've sacked him. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, like I said, they sold half the team under him.
Yeah, I know that's the bit about it. He knows it, but he just mostly wanted to get back in and believe that he could make a difference and then get the adulation after by, a team that's lost a lot of its main players, and it's amazing how they're falling apart after that season, that incredible season they had when they won the Bundesliga and they'd done what they'd done. And that's the way it works in Germany, as well as maybe here in a small bit, but in Germany quite a big bit. You can have that moment, but it seems like the moment you show anything you're good, they seem to want to dismantle it and allow Bayern Munich to come through and take over it again. They're going to dominate for a long period. It does seem that way. It seems like the establishment went, no, good, enjoyed that, but not going to happen again for a few years. That Bayern Munich are going to win it again and again and again. So it was absolutely, was he brave or stupid to go and take the job on? That's a question. Maybe debate about. But he was mostly looking to prove that he is a decent manager by taking on a little bit of a poison chalice after the previous manager, and the fact of all the players have all gone. The club have just taken the money off of that success.
Yep. No, like I said, I'm a little bit sad to see that happening so early. Ten Hag is not a bad person. It just didn't work out at United. Anyway, that's it for this week. I really appreciate everyone listening in and sending in your questions and your comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Hit a like, give us a review. We always appreciate it. Paul, as always, thank you very much for your time. We'll be back after the Manchester derby after an emphatic 2-0 win. And Sesko getting his first goal for Manchester United, fingers crossed. So again, thank you all for listening in and enjoy the rest of your week.